Hey guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo Yoke and throttle quadrant. I've been using this almost for about 2 years now. Well, more like 1.5. But overall, I just want to say I think it's a great product. I would definitely say it's one of the best out there, and for the price too. You can't beat it. And I had to wait quite a while to receive mine because I ordered it in 2021, like right at the start of the new year. So I don't think I actually received it until I received part of it. I received the yoke first, and which was like in April. And then I didn't get the throttle until like summertime. So it because of the pandemic and everything and all the logistical issues, supply chain, all that dilemma, man, it was a pretty good wait that I had to go through to get this thing. Anyway, so yeah, when you get it, it comes in these really nice boxes, and they're really solid, and they'll just really protect the product well and keep it in good condition if you have to store it somewhere late when you take it down. But yeah, especially if you can't keep the hardware set up on your desk, that's a big one right there. So yeah, this is just inside the box with all the foam inserts. And you can see it's very nicely kind of laid out. Right here is where the C-clamps go, and all the right spaces for the cables and the manuals and the levers and all that stuff. So it's pretty good quality. These are the little throttle levers that you get with the TQ. One set for commercial airliners and the other for GA, and they're both pretty good quality, and they have a separate button on the throttle levers for takeoff and go around functions. The commercial ones have a little lever for the reverse thrust, which is pretty cool, especially in the 747. And yeah, they're pretty good quality material. So this is how I usually have it set up. Yeah, keyboard on the top. Yeah, it's I keep them kind of close together. Depending on how your desk is, that's kind of something that factors how much space you have available on your desk surface. But it's a solid piece of hardware, both of them. And the yoke, the throttle has the spring-loaded mechanism that simulates the resistance, and to me it has a really nice feel, especially for like GA. You know, it's not like any kind of force feedback, but it still offers that, you know, bit of simulated feel of resistance when you pull back and forth on the yoke. When you rotate the yoke left and right, it's real smooth, and it actually has a little bit of like self-centering when you let go, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, solid base mounts. One note about the base mount on my last desk: it has this like big 3M quote unquote removable suction cup. However, I definitely advise that you not use that if you plan on removing this hardware after you use it. Like, you know, if you only have one desk, you don't have a permanent home cockpit setup, you know, that you can just leave it there, you know, days on end. Definitely watch that 3M adhesive. It's supposed to be removable, but I'll tell you what, when I tried to take it off after using that, it nearly ripped the vinyl off that desk. So actually it did rip it off. So yeah, just a word of caution there. I just use the C clamps, and the mounts work great. So yeah, solid base mounts. And my biggest pet peeve here, and this is why I have it in italic, is it does take a lot of time to set this thing up. And so some days, if you're kind of just coming home, after a long day, you still want to flight sim, but you don't want to have to take like 10 minutes to set all this up, take it out of the box, plug everything in, mount everything, plug it in, and then it can be a turn. It could kill the mood entirely for me. That is the only thing I don't like, is how long it takes to set this up. Other than that, everything is pretty awesome. It does work great with VR too. You just kind of have to memorize a little bit where the buttons are, but if you can look down through your virtual reality headset, it works fine enough. I think it's pretty easy to use in VR. So yeah, the other thing about the box, it can double as a mouse stand, because here's the thing is, when I'm not using VR and I'm going off the screen, because the yoke is so far out, I have to really adjust my seat accordingly, and also to where my hands, my arms aren't being like totally strained, just trying to use the TQ. And the other thing is, I don't have a very big monitor, so I have to kind of sit close, sit relatively close, and lean forward and then lean back to look at stuff. And that can actually really cause some good strain on your back. So that's another thing that matters, is how you have this set up. So if you have it set up like I do here, which I think a lot of people have this set up, in VR, I don't have to worry about bending forward to zoom in on something, or press a button on the keyboard, because I'm so immersed in the cockpit. It's easier on my back, and I can actually, it just feels a lot more comfortable with the VR headset. But if you have a small screen and you're not using VR, you're using track IR, and you have to bend forward a lot, especially if you don't if you don't have your mouse far enough back to where it's comfortable enough, you're really gonna feel the strain. So that's something I don't think that's really spoken about. Maybe it's just the way my setup is, but that's also another kind of thing that I noticed, that was a bit took a bit of adjusting to. So anyway, here's the TQ. What's really cool, it's kind of an all-in-one autopilot stack right here. It's got all the multifunction selectors here. This is the multifunction selector, and then this is basically just the dial you can use. And you have all your different settings here. You have some buttons here you can map to, like fuel pump, additional lights, vacuum pump, which is pretty useful. And you even have like a little annunciator panel here that lights up whenever certain systems fail or certain subsystems are activated, which is pretty cool. You got some really nice covers that come with this, so when you take it down and you're going to store it, it adds some nice dust protection right there. And this trim wheel here is very high quality. And the landing gear lever, very solid. And then you have some indicator lights as well for the landing gear. It's pretty cool. And then you also have I thought this was pretty cool. So for like GA, you have an additional flap lever that can be very familiar. And with the TQ, as far as like any backlighting, these light up, and that's pretty much it. So at night, they only light up when you push on them, though, or when you have that function and active. They don't all just stay lit. So make sure you have a little bit of some kind of lighting to see what's what. But overall, it's pretty solid. And oh yeah, the levers do have a reversed detent, which is pretty cool. And here's what I was talking about with the lighting. So yeah, these two are activated, and when you have the autopilot engaged, that's on as well. And here's one of the little kind of annunciator lights on right there. And in this case, I had it set for the 747, which was pretty cool. And so yeah, basically, my only real kind of pet peeve about the Yoke is that the backlighting is there is none. And I thought I had a picture of it here. Let's see here. I thought I did. All right. Well. So all right. So apparently there was some slides I missed for some other things. But so yeah, we were talking about the TQ just a little while ago, and I found my other pictures. Moving on to the throttle. This is the only backlighting per se, but it's not really like backlighting at all. This lighting really has no other purpose than aesthetics. Like, it does not help you see the labels of these buttons at all. Like, I wish they would have did away with this red backlighting. It looks really cool, don't get me wrong, but it absolutely does nothing. Like, it does not help you see at all the labeling on the buttons. I would have rather them maybe did away with this and just created some nice backlighting for the labels of the buttons. So maybe if you're crafty, you can make like some kind of mod or something with some cheap LED, battery LED lights. That's what I was thinking of, maybe, and just putting them on the corners of each corner, kind of shining down on the buttons so you could read the labels of what you're about to push and be able to actually see them. Like here on the right, this is the ignition, and you can barely even see it. And this was cranked all the way up. It has like 5 different brightness levels, and this was all the way up. And like I said, it's just all aesthetics, and that was something that I thought was kind of, I don't know, kind of funny. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the clamps. Okay, so not too long ago this happened. I don't know if maybe it's just my desk But yeah, this popped off here. This is the little kind of padded, rubber padded pad that attaches down onto the bottom surface of your desk to keep everything in place. The other one is still on there pretty solid. I don't know, maybe it just there was too much strain being applied on it when I was trying to unscrew it. But I don't know if this has happened to a lot of people. I did notice whenever I have to when I want to unscrew these and take them off, this pad is actually really like stuck on there, like it's almost like an adhesive, and I have to like pry it off, like almost peel it off, and it just and I think that's probably what happened is because maybe I had it tightened, over tightened, and it caused too much of like a suction, I guess, to the desk surface. I don't know, and that happened. So now I just got to make sure I don't lose that thing, and I just kind of place it on there as soon as it's about to touch the bottom of the desk, and I've been making do with it. So again, I don't know if that was just something I broke, but that happened. And the other thing about the clamp is it kind of matters about what kind of desk you have. So luckily, with my desk, it worked out just perfect because I have this bar, this part of the frame here, and if that bar had been in any further in, I would not have been able to use these clamps. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is the kind of desk you have. So desk. That's really all I can say about getting one of these. The more space you have, I would say the better. And also it depends on the kind of setup that you want. Are you someone like me who only has just one desk and that's it? So you can't have your flight sim peripherals set up all the time. You have to take them down because you have other stuff you have to work on outside of flight sim. So that's another thing to consider. But for the price, man, I would say this piece of hardware is definitely worth it. It's the most bang for your buck. With the TQ, you have a kind of a combination, very versatile throttle quadrant, and comes with an autopilot. And then the yoke is very solid as well. And I couldn't have asked for a better first yoke and throttle setup. Well, alright guys, that's all I pretty much have to say, and thanks for watching. Take it easy.